The timeless impact of Japanese innovations, from origami to modern marvels. Imagine a single sheet of paper transforming into a spacecraft component, or a sword so perfectly crafted it's considered equal parts weapon and art. These aren't modern marvels or science fiction. They're ancient Japanese innovations that continue to shape our world today in ways you might never have imagined. 1,000 years before NASA engineers were designing solar panels for space missions, Japanese children were folding paper into delicate cranes. This art of paper folding, known as origami, would eventually revolutionize modern engineering and space exploration. But how did a traditional paper craft become a cornerstone of cutting-edge technology? In the hands of a master, a single square of paper can become anything imaginable, from a leaping frog to a complex geometric structure. The principles of origami are deceptively simple. No cuts, no glue, just folds. Yet these same principles are now being used to design deployable solar arrays for satellites, collapsible heart stents that save lives, and even airbag systems that protect you in your car. Take the James Webb Space Telescope, for instance. Its massive sun shield, roughly the size of a tennis court, had to be folded up to fit inside a rocket and then unfold flawlessly in space. The solution? Engineers turned to origami mathematics. The ancient Japanese art of paper folding provided the key to one of humanity's most ambitious space projects. But perhaps even more remarkable is how this invention emerged from Japanese culture. In the Heian period, paper was a precious commodity, often used in religious ceremonies. The act of folding paper became a meditation on the relationship between simplicity and complexity, between the finite and infinite. This philosophical foundation would later prove crucial in helping modern scientists understand the mathematical principles hidden within each fold. Speaking of precision and artistry, let's turn to another Japanese invention that revolutionized metallurgy, the katana, or Japanese sword. You might think you know about Japanese swords from movies or video games, but the reality is even more fascinating than fiction. Picture this. A sword so sharp it could slice through multiple enemies in a single stroke, yet so precisely balanced it felt like an extension of the warrior's body. The secret lies in a forging process so complex it took centuries to perfect. Japanese swordsmiths developed a technique of repeatedly folding and hammering the steel, creating layers numbering in the thousands. Some estimates suggest up to 33,000 layers in a single blade. This wasn't just about creating a sharp weapon. The folding process removed impurities from the iron sand used to make the steel, while also distributing carbon content evenly throughout the blade. The result was a sword with a hard, sharp edge and a flexible core that could absorb impact without breaking. A combination that wouldn't be fully understood by Western metallurgists until the 19th century. The influence of Japanese sword-making techniques extends far beyond warfare. The principles developed by these ancient craftsmen now inform modern steel manufacturing, from high-end kitchen knives to surgical instruments. Every time a surgeon makes a precise incision with a scalpel, they're benefiting from metallurgical knowledge first developed in medieval Japan. But not all world-changing inventions were focused on transformation or destruction. Some, like the tatami mat, revolutionize the very way we think about living spaces. These meticulously crafted floor mats, made from rice straw and soft rush grass, might seem simple at first glance. However, they represent one of the earliest examples of standardized modular architecture in the world. The dimensions of a tatami mat became a unit of measurement in Japanese architecture, influencing everything from room sizes to building designs. This standardization was revolutionary. It allowed for precise planning and efficient construction centuries before modern architectural practices emerged in the West. What's truly remarkable about tatami is its environmental intelligence. The natural materials used in these mats help regulate humidity, absorb excess moisture during Japan's humid summers, and release it during dry winters. They also act as natural air purifiers, absorbing harmful substances and odors from the air. In an age of increasing environmental consciousness, these ancient mats offer lessons in sustainable design that modern architects are only now beginning to fully appreciate. The genius of tatami extends to its psychological impact as well. The slight give underfoot provides a unique sensory experience that Japanese architects found promoted both physical and mental well-being. This understanding of how our environment affects our mental state was centuries ahead of its time. Modern research in environmental psychology is only now catching up to what Japanese craftsmen intuitively understood a millennium ago. Long before modern scientists developed advanced polymers and protective coatings, Japanese craftsmen had already mastered the art of creating virtually indestructible finishes. The secret? A remarkable substance called urushi, Japanese lacquer, derived from the sap of a tree that only grows in East Asia. Imagine a finish so durable that objects coated with it can survive underwater for thousands of years. This isn't speculation. Lacquerware recovered from ancient shipwrecks still retains its brilliant shine after centuries on the ocean floor. But what makes this technology truly revolutionary is that it's completely natural and environmentally sustainable. The creation of lacquerware is a testament to human patience and precision. Each piece requires up to 30 layers of lacquer, with each layer needing to dry in a humid environment for days. The process can take months, sometimes years, to complete. Yet the results are extraordinary. Objects that are not only beautiful, but also resistant to water, acid, and even heat, up to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. This ancient Japanese technology is now finding new applications in unexpected places. Modern researchers are studying urushi's unique properties for potential use in everything from car finishes to space vehicle coatings. Some scientists are even investigating its potential in medical applications, as the material is naturally antibacterial and biocompatible. But perhaps more fascinating is the story of how this technology was discovered. Legend has it that a Japanese farmer noticed how the sap of the urushi tree would harden into an unusually durable coating when exposed to air. What began as a curious observation led to one of the most sophisticated natural polymers ever developed by human civilization. Speaking of remarkable discoveries, let's turn to another Japanese innovation that revolutionized the art of warfare and later became a path to spiritual enlightenment. The Japanese bow, or yumi. At over 7 feet tall, the asymmetrical design of this bow appears to defy common sense until you understand the brilliant engineering behind it. Unlike European bows, which are symmetrical above and below the grip, the Japanese bow has its grip positioned about 1/3 of the way from the bottom. This unusual design wasn't a mistake or an aesthetic choice. It was a solution to a unique problem. Japanese warriors often needed to shoot from horseback or while kneeling, and the asymmetrical design allowed for greater maneuverability in these positions. But what truly sets the Japanese bow apart is its remarkable range and accuracy. Using a combination of bamboo and wood laminated together with glue and rattan, Japanese craftsmen created a bow that could launch arrows with devastating precision over distances of up to 280 yards. This was achieved centuries before modern composite materials were invented. The engineering principles developed for these bows are still studied today. The way different materials were combined to create a weapon more powerful than any of its individual components has influenced modern composite material design. From aircraft components to sporting equipment, the legacy of Japanese bow crafting continues to shape our world. Yet perhaps the most profound Japanese invention that changed the world wasn't a tool of war or a practical technology, but rather an art form, ukiyo-e, or woodblock prints. These pictures of the floating world would go on to revolutionize not just art, but the very way we think about mass media and visual communication. In an era when European art was dominated by oil paintings accessible only to the wealthy, Japanese artists were creating vibrant prints that could be mass-produced and enjoyed by everyone. The techniques they developed for layering colors and creating subtle gradients were centuries ahead of their time. When these prints finally reached Europe in the late 19th century, they sparked nothing short of an artistic revolution. The impact was seismic. Artists like Van Gogh, Monet, and Degas were profoundly influenced by ukiyo-e's bold compositions, unusual perspectives, and flat areas of pure color. The entire Impressionist movement owes a tremendous debt to this Japanese innovation, but ukiyo-e's influence extends far beyond fine art. These prints essentially invented modern graphic design. The way ukiyo-e artists combined text and image, used negative space, and created bold, simplified compositions would later influence everything from advertising posters to manga and anime. The iconic style of Art Nouveau, that was directly inspired by the curved lines and natural motifs found in ukiyo-e. Even more remarkably, ukiyo-e artists developed color separation techniques that would later become the foundation of modern printing technology. Their method of using different blocks for different colors was a precursor to the CMYK printing process we still use today. In essence, these artists weren't just creating beautiful pictures, they were inventing the future of visual communication. Sometimes the simplest inventions have the most profound impact on human civilization. Take chopsticks, for instance. While other cultures were still eating primarily with their hands, ancient Japanese craftsmen were perfecting an eating utensil that would revolutionize not just how we eat, but how we think about food itself. What makes Japanese chopsticks unique is their design philosophy. Unlike their Chinese counterparts, Japanese chopsticks are shorter and taper to a fine point. This wasn't just an aesthetic choice. It was an innovation driven by Japan's seafood-rich diet. The precision offered by these refined utensils allowed for the development of entirely new culinary traditions, including the delicate art of eating raw fish. The influence of chopsticks extends far beyond the dinner table. The fine motor skills developed through using chopsticks from an early age have been linked to enhanced brain development in children. Studies have shown that using chopsticks engages over 30 joints and 50 muscles in the fingers, hands, and arms, promoting neural connections that benefit everything from handwriting to mathematical ability. Another Japanese invention that revolutionized human communication and art is washi, or traditional Japanese paper. Created from the inner bark of 3 plants, kozo, mitsumata, and gampi, washi is far more than just a writing surface. Its long fibers make it up to 10 times stronger than modern pulp paper, while its unique manufacturing process creates a material that can last over 1,000 years. What makes washi truly revolutionary is its versatility. It can be made water-resistant yet remain breathable. It can be nearly transparent yet stronger than many modern synthetic materials. These properties made it invaluable not just for writing and art, but for everything from armor reinforcement to window screens that let in light while keeping out rain and insects. The influence of washi on modern technology continues today. The principles developed for creating this remarkable paper are now being studied by materials scientists developing new types of filters, batteries, and electronic components. Some researchers are even using washi-inspired techniques to create new types of medical dressings that promote healing while preventing infection. But perhaps the most profound Japanese invention we've yet to discuss isn't a physical object at all, but rather a philosophy embodied in a ritual. The Japanese tea ceremony. While other cultures certainly drank tea, none developed it into such a comprehensive system of aesthetic, philosophical, and social principles. The tea ceremony, or chanoyu, might appear simple on the surface, just the preparation and serving of powdered green tea. But this deceptively simple practice revolutionized not just how we think about tea, but how we understand the relationship between host and guest, between humans and their environment, and between the mundane and the profound. The influence of tea ceremony aesthetics on modern design cannot be overstated. The principles of wabi-sabi, finding beauty in simplicity, imperfection, and the effects of time, that were refined through tea ceremony, have profoundly influenced modern architecture, interior design, and even technology design. When you hear about minimalist design or user experience in modern products, you're hearing echoes of principles first developed in Japanese tea rooms centuries ago. These 9 Japanese inventions represent more than just clever solutions to practical problems. They embody a uniquely Japanese approach to innovation, one that values harmony between function and form, between tradition and progress, between human needs and natural systems. In our modern world, as we grapple with challenges from environmental sustainability to technological innovation, these ancient Japanese inventions continue to offer us valuable lessons. Thank you for watching this exploration of Japan's innovative spirit. If you enjoyed discovering these fascinating inventions, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more insights into Japanese history and culture. Leave a comment below telling us which invention surprised you the most. We'd love to hear your thoughts.